Marines went into Iraq, the commandant called me. I was in Hawaii and said, you know, I would like to see if we couldn't get some press coverage for the individual Marines, the Marines down in the foxholes, the guys that are really doing all the work. A lot of the press is with the generals and with the units and all that. But I'm really not seeing anything about the young Marines. So I called Patrick and I said, is there anything you can do to help me? And he said there was. So he got himself credentialed with a UPI. So it became a credentialed UPI embedded reporter. And he made 2 separate trips to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Djibouti. And he went out with the Marines and he reported on those forgotten Marines, the Lance Corporals, the PFCs that were out doing the yeoman's work. Patrick was out with them on patrol. He was with them in their fighting positions. He was in the convoys all over Iraq where there was a Marine. He was there all over Afghanistan where there was Marines. He was there, and in Djibouti. And he did this at many times in harm's way, and oftentimes in harm's way. But he produced hundreds of hometown news releases. None of them ever were on the New York Times and the Washington Post. They all went back to Evansville, Indiana. they all went back to Oklahoma. They all went back to the hometowns, and they made the hometown papers, and it was all about one of the local heroes, one of the young Marines that would have never gotten any notoriety if it wasn't for him. So I think, us as veterans, we owe men like Patrick a heck of a lot of credit because he does great things for the Marine Corps, and he still does. And I'm sure you'll enjoy his presentation tonight. Patrick, all yours.
By the way, Jerry, I wasn't alone on some of those ambushes and things. I've been doing these. This is the old Corps. The modern Corps calls these PMEs, like a professional military education, something like that. And Denny and Stu said I could come up here, but I had to have a couple of good sea stories to kind of start the thing off. Can anybody here tell me the definition of a good sea story? About you, Mary? Where's your Mary doing? I'm not going to sing that song. Anybody know the definition of a good sea story? All these Marines? Yes, sir.
I was going to start out with this is a no-shitter.
That's exactly right. That's translated. You don't need to let reality get in the way, you know? So I want you to pay attention here. We're gonna do 2 sea stories. One's going way back in the past to like 1880 in Paris, France. The other one's in the future, in year 2000, I think 50, something like that. The first one is in France. Let's get going here. Now, the first person to recognize this music, this is a French operetta at a French Gaiety Theater, and the music's called Jeanne Brabant, written by Jacques Offenbach. Incidentally, the church forbade 3 dances. The Catholic Church forbade this dance, the tango, and the rumba. Listen carefully. Raise your hand when you know this song. This lady right here. Hang on a second, let me see. Okay. What is it?
Yeah, it's the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's no such song as the Marine Corps hymn. That's right. In France, there's a major when the Marine unit was in France in 1880, and he took that. And 90% of the Marine Corps doesn't know that. That's it. This was the Disney version, by the way. The reason the Catholic Church forbade it had nothing to do with these wholesome girls. Okay, now we have to go to my second sea story. This one takes us back to, let's see, a little note here. This one takes us back to the year 2051, I think, roughly. You have to have a lot of imagination here because it's in the future. And there's a farm, a cotton farm, in a town called Fort Payne, Alabama. Funny, you know, when I was embedded, I did a lot of stories for Alabamans, I'm not sure why, or artillery people, I'm not sure how that happened. Fort Payne, Indiana, and there's a tractor there. What's that green and yellow tractor? What's it called? The green and yellow tractor?
John Deere.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that. And on that tractor, it's all scarred up. There's an old guy driving this tractor, and he's got Marine Corps utilities and boots from, I don't know, some ancient war, and a green t-shirt, and he's really pathetic, and he's just a wreck. And on the tractor, you can barely make it out. You see a little J and then a C, and I think it's Mac or something, McAbee or something. It's got 08. It's got a whole bunch of stuff written there, all faded away because the tractor just like this old guy is really kind of faded and decrepit. And so all of a sudden, this guy's on his tractor, and a big bang occurs in the sky, and a bird comes flying out and falls right between him and the tractor and the fence line. And coming down the road is a giant 6'4" guy, one of these, you know, dudes, tourist dudes with the shotgun shells and all that Abercrombie clothes, and he says, "Hey, old timer, that's my bird. I'm coming over to get it." And this old timer says, "Afraid not, son." He says, "Here in Fort Payne, the bird lands on my property. It's my bird." And the guy looks at the old timer and says, "You know who I am? I'm Ralph Leibowitz. I'm the meanest, toughest litigator in New York City. If I don't get that bird, I'm going to litigate one side of your body and sue the other side." And the old timer says, "Well, you know, here in Alabama, we don't have much time for that litigating stuff, but we do have another system." "What's that?" He says, "We have another system." "What's that?" He says, "It's called the 3-kick rule." And he says, "Well, what is that?" He said, "Well, the old timer says, well, I get off the tractor, I kick you 3 times, you kick me 3 times, and whoever gives up, the other guy gets the bird." So this big, giant, healthy 25-year-old young man looks at the old timer and says, "No problem." He comes over, puts his shotgun down, and the old timer jumps off the tractor. All of a sudden, he looks like he's a 25-year-old, you know, Marine first lieutenant. All of a sudden, his adrenaline flows. He's looking in great shape. And then he walks right up to that New York lawyer, takes his right boot, and he plants it right where the Mississippi and Missouri meet. And wham! And the guy bends down. Then he goes over and kicks him in the calf, and the guy goes down in the deck. Then he goes around and bangs him right in the ribs. The guy's suffering and breathing and everything like that. And finally, this lawyer crawls over to the fence, about 5 minutes of breathing, stands up, counts his win, and he looks at the old timer and he says, "Okay, my turn." And this studly Marine then turns and looks at him and says, "Nah, that's okay. You keep the bird." You didn't like the first part, did you? And we have to have a genuine John Deere tractor here, so that you find somebody in Oklahoma. Would you just do it? I mean, Alabama.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to have a little quiz here. Oh, first one, do a little break.